Hello lovely yoga people and welcome to this week's video. As you can see, I'm all dressed up in my jumper and my hat. It's really cold at the moment, so I'm keeping myself warm. This week we're working with the spirit of the waters, and specifically we're actually working with the moon, because the moon of course governs the waters and the tides. And the waters on the planet move around in accordance with what the moon is doing. So we're going to culminate our practice into actually doing the moon salutation, but we're going to work up to it by going through the different postures. But we're going to begin by just coming into a nice comfortable seat of your choice. I'm sitting up on some blocks. You can sit cross-legged or with the feet out or on a chair, whatever suits you. And we're just going to bring ourselves into a place of stillness and quiet, closing the eyes or lowering the gaze. And bringing the attention into the breath, flowing like water, gently in and out through the nose. Taking a few breaths here. Beautiful. So we're going to just blink open the eyes. We're going to take a few little movements just to get the body warmed up. So bringing the arms up overhead, looking between the hands. And then we're going to exhale and come down to a side bend. So whichever position you're sitting in, make sure you keep both sides of the sit bones on the ground, keeping this top arm nice and straight. And then we're going to raise back up, looking between the hands and going down to the other side. Beautiful. So we're going to do that again, but this time as we come down, we're going to take this lovely side bend, but then we're going to take a look up under the armpit, which really opens the chest. Doing it on the other side. Lovely. Okay, so then we're going to come and do a little twist. So arms again coming up over the head. And then exhaling, we're going to take opposite hand to knee. The hand behind can either go onto the ground if you can reach, or if you can't, like me, you can take it round the body into a bind. And then inhaling as you look to the side, exhaling into the twist. Take a couple of breaths there. As you breathe in, just slightly coming out of the twist and then exhaling into it. And then we're going to come all the way to the top. So arms coming all the way back again and exhaling to the other side, doing the same thing. Exhaling into the twist, inhaling slightly out. One more twist. And then coming through center. And hands gently back onto the body. Beautiful. So we're going to transition to a wide-legged seat. So coming back to sit on something if you like doing it that way. And we're going to bring the feet out along the mat as wide as you can. It doesn't have to be very wide. And we're going to start by just bringing the hands in front of the body here. Just taking the hands forward, just gently. We're not pushing here, just being gentle. Then from here, we're going to raise the arms up and we're going to do what we just did. So taking a side bend only. We're not going to take this hand down. We're going to keep the arms up and try and grow tall, but coming into a side bend. And then doing the same thing on the other side, so growing tall. Beautiful. Then we're going to come back down the other side, but this time we're going to put the hand down onto this leg and coming over and then doing what we did before, which was to look up under the armpit. Coming back through Exhaling that hand down onto that leg and opening up, looking up under the armpit. Wonderful. And hands coming back down in front of the body, and you never know, you might feel that you can just go a millimetre further than you did a minute ago, letting the forehead drop down. Wonderful. So finding yourself in all fours, sun ray fingers, fingers spread as wide as possible, knees underneath the hips. We're going to inhale, take the spine to the floor and look ahead. And then exhale, taking the spine to the ceiling, looking between the knees. Doing that a couple more times. Coming back to a neutral place, taking the legs wide, big toes together, sitting back into the child, dropping the head down to the ground, maybe bringing the arms down by the sides, having a good breath here. So from here, we're going to come back into all fours just for a moment. Tuck the toes, and this is where we're going to send the hips up into the dog, only briefly here. So keeping the knees bent, dropping the chest down towards the knees, trying to let the head go, and take a couple of breaths there. And then we're just going to very gently walk the hands towards the feet towards the hands, coming into our standing forward bend. If this isn't good for you because of blood pressure issues, you can always come up and be on the elbows like this, keeping the head above the heart. But if it's good for you, taking a breath in and then exhale, letting yourself drop down. So I've changed the position of the camera, but I'm still in my beautiful standing forward bend. From here, we're going to just raise up slowly, just unwinding the spine, coming up gently and landing in your Tadasana. So we can roll the shoulders back, mountain pose that is. Look down at the feet, make sure that you're standing with your feet coming out in front. Give the hands a little bit of a shake and then let them go. And we'll take a moment here, looking down at sort of skirting board level. Knees are soft, weight going down into all four corners of the feet. Torso sitting gently on top of the hips. Shoulders sitting gently on top of the torso. Head sitting gently on top of the neck. Arms hanging loosely by the sides. Wonderful. So from this position, if you need some of these blocks, have some of these blocks ready so that you can grab them if you want them. So we're going to go through some of the moon salutation postures to just get them into our mind and our body before we go into the sequence. So we're going to start. So raising the arms up, taking the gaze up between the hands, trying to keep the chest lovely and open as we drop down to the side, trying to keep the arms in the same position so you're not ending up just doing that, which is what I see quite a lot of people. So the whole body is going with the arms staying in that position. So the hips kind of dip out a little bit to the other side. Inhaling, raising back up to the top, and exhaling, going the other way. Coming back. arms out into a sort of open position here, and then we're going to take the feet out and come out into a star position like this. So I've actually taken my feet out to the sides, arms coming out and slightly up to the sides, really sun ray fingers from here. And then from here, we're going to come into cactus arms, and we're going to duck down into the goddess. So you can adjust the feet to make sure the knees are comfortable. Coming down into the goddess. So from this goddess position, we're going to come back up to the star, but as we do it, we're going to turn on our feet. So we're going to turn this back foot backwards and the front foot forwards, but I'm actually taking that foot a bit towards the back edge of the mat, and you'll see why in a moment. So from here, I'm then bringing, I've still got both legs straight, bringing arms straight out from the shoulders, and we're going to take a diagonal, like stretch out to the side, diagonal along the mat, I mean, because I've moved my foot. So I'm coming down now into the triangle that my body can do with still keeping my chest facing out towards you. I'm going to inhale here. And this is why I moved my foot back, because I'm coming into the pyramid. So, and that's why I need to be on train tracks here. I'm going to just bend my leg to grab my blocks, but I'm actually keeping this leg straight. And then I'm going to come down. It's a really lovely stretch on that front leg. So we're trying to have the back straight, both legs are straight. And then only once you've kind of found your place, and you might need to be up on blocks like this, if that works for you, that's fine. And then once you've got here, then you can just see if you can release the head a little bit, keeping that front leg straight. So if that's too much, just don't come down so far. So I can just about, I'm getting better at this the more I do it. And then to come out, I'm going to bend this front leg, and then I'm going to come straight forward, bringing my arms forward, coming up into warrior one. So I've got back leg straight, back, the outside edge of the back foot moving down towards the ground, front knee bent. If I look over my front knee, I should see my big toe, which I can see. Looking up between the hands. From here we're going to take a big inhale in, and as we exhale we're going to open out to warrior two. So taking the hands back out so they're shoulder height, looking along the front arm. Beautiful. And then this is where we're going to come back into the star again. So I'm going to rotate my feet round, and I'm actually going to bring this foot a bit further forward, rotate myself round back into the star. So I've got both feet in the same position. Then we're going to exhale, taking the feet out back into the goddess. Beautiful. So those are the postures that we're going to do in the moon salutation. I'm just going to do it once, so we go through the moon salutation one way and then it reverses and goes back the other way. I'm just going to do it once, but I would suggest that you have a go at it at least twice and maybe even 3 times, so you can just like take the video back a bit and do it again, because it's such. So standing in Tadasana, taking a few moments there. And the first thing we're going to do is to raise the arms up over the head, looking between the hands. And then exhale, going one way, taking the hips out the other way, trying to keep the chest nice and straight. Inhaling up and exhale, taking a nice side bend the other way. Inhaling back up. And this is where I'm going to open out to the star. So I'm taking my feet out first and then taking the hands out, sun ray fingers. Then exhaling, bringing the arms into cactus arms, adjusting the feet, coming down into the goddess. And then as I come back up, I'm going to take that foot back, turning the feet, beautiful. And then I'm going to reach forward, coming down into the triangle. Going to wherever you can go, looking at the top arm. Inhaling here. And then as I exhale, coming down into the pyramid. If you need your blocks, have your blocks there. I can just about reach. And then allowing the head to drop. To come out, I'm going to inhale, bending the front knee, and I'm going to bring the arms up, coming into warrior two, adjusting your front foot if you need to. Inhaling and then exhaling, coming out to warrior two. Then we're going to turn the feet again, coming back into the star, coming down to the goddess, coming back to the star, down into the goddess. Inhaling, we're going to turn the other way, so I'm going to take this foot backwards, coming into my triangle, leaning forward and then coming down to wherever you can come. It's a little bit easier for me this side. Inhaling here and then exhaling, coming down into the pyramid, having your blocks if you need them. Bending the front knee to come up into warrior one. Inhaling here and then exhaling out to warrior two. Inhaling, turning the feet and getting the feet back into the right position for the star, sunray fingers, and then exhale, adjusting the feet if you need to, coming into the goddess. Inhaling back up into the star, and then bring the feet together, arms up above the head, exhaling the other way first into the side bend. Inhaling back up and exhaling the other way. Inhaling up and then hands down, and we can bring them up in front of the heart to finish. Lovely, so to finish the practice we'll come down onto our backs and do a couple of counter poses before we go into our Shavasana. So we're going to start by lowering ourselves down onto the back. So lying on the back with the heels behind the bottom, hands down on the ground. We're going to inhale here and then exhale, drop the lower spine down to the ground, curling up the tailbone, and we can raise the arms up above the head if you want to, coming up into the bridge. And then as you exhale, drop down again. Let's do that once more. So inhaling up, and if you want to, you can just hold the position here for a couple of breaths, making sure you're keeping your knees close together. Then we're going to drop everything down and we're going to raise the legs up, taking hold of the legs, having a little rock from side to side. Then from here I'm going to drop my knees down to one side, taking my hand onto the outside edge of the top knee and looking in the opposite direction. Taking a couple of breaths here. Then I'm going to inhale, coming back up to the top and dropping over to the other side. And taking a look over, couple of breaths here. And then bringing the legs back up into the top, having a little bit of a wriggle around, doing whatever you want to for a moment, and then we're just going to drop down into our Shavasana, so taking the feet wide as the mat, letting them drop down, hands down beside the body with the palms facing up, closing the eyes, dropping the chin slightly, and here we are. Nothing to do, just being here for a few moments. So stay here for as long as you like. Don't feel like you have to move just because I do. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this Mooney practice. And if you are enjoying these videos but not coming to the classes and you would like to support me, then you can give me a donation by contacting me through my email, which is at the end of the video. And beautiful to be sharing. Hope everyone's having a beautiful day. Namaste.